Take one. Hello, you guys. How are you guys doing? So this is my first take for this, and this is part 4, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll probably fix it in my post-production / editing phase. But anyways, here we go. So, part 4. I did not touch on a few different things because I totally forgot where I was going with it, even though I knew what I was trying to say. I try and say these things in one full burst so that I don't have to do too many editing and too many fixes because I like to keep it as natural and as personal as I can. So anyways, here we go. Sorry, my stomach is itching. Anyways, I know, a little TMI. But anywho, nonetheless, here we go. So, you've finished elementary school, you've finished middle school, you've finished high school. Now you're 18 years old or about to be turning 18. You are considered an adult once you turn 18. So please, while you're on a college campus or a university campus or any of the college versions of campuses, please be careful and not to do anything rash, disrespectful, or rude, because there's a good chance that somebody's going to either complain about it to public safety, or just usually a public safety office, or they're going to catch you on the cams. Also, because you're an adult now, there will be different public safety officers around that will be sometimes patrolling and looking around. So be on your best behavior and be careful with certain things, because once somebody decides to say something, you could get in trouble. So be very, very careful with the way you do things. Okay? All right. Now, along with that comes a few other things. And it's happened to me. Well, not exactly me personally, but, well, actually, no, it has happened to me. And it's happened to different people that I know. That in college campuses and university campuses and all of that jazz, as much as all of us are mature, and as much as all or almost all of us are mature, and some of us are still immature and whatnot, and as much as a lot of us are very respectful and with each other, there is sometimes some of those people that will sometimes steal different belongings, different things, and without thinking about it. Maybe they're going to use it to sell it so they can make extra money or this and that, or they're going to do certain things that are not exactly right. I've gotten a few times my charger stolen, and I had friends or people watching it, but I guess they weren't the best people to choose at the time. But I got those things stolen, and they were supposed to watch it, but at the same time, I had my understandable reasons at the time, and, you know, it's not good. You need to be careful with which friends you choose to watch your stuff, and make sure that you do have friends that you can trust to watch your stuff, because you'll be doing the same thing for them, and they'll be doing the same thing for you, vice versa. Make sure to always watch your belongings. Always know where your belongings are. If you don't trust any of the people that are there, bring your belongings with you. Thankfully, whenever my stuff was randomly stolen or somebody took something, it was just a cord and maybe a charger, which is still not fun, but it's happened to me. And for that reason, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, it isn't fun, you know, because then you have to buy a new charger and this and that. But at least it's not going to be your computer or other personal belongings. So sometimes what I would very much recommend you to do, I need to cut some of my nails later. Hopefully I have time. Busy. I should cut these soon though. But anyways, nonetheless, yeah, always watch your belongings and always find people that you can trust to actually watch your stuff. If not, bring them with you. Bring it into the restroom, hang it up somewhere, put it on the side near the exit area, in a distance or area that you can see it with your eye while you're going to the restroom. Okay, especially if you're a guy in some of the guy restrooms. I'm not going to get into details because that's a little TMI and that's a little bit personal, but if there's any way that you can make it so that nobody touches your stuff, make sure to hang it where you need to hang it and put it where you need to put it. so that you can watch it while you're going to the restroom or while you're doing other things in the restroom. Okay? So that's definitely something that you should definitely do. Also, I know I touched this on my pet peeves before, but I always see it in my job, in my school, and it makes me very much annoyed because it's like, I mean, I know you don't care much, and to me, it's just not right for you to do that. But I have no right to tell you, that you're not cleaning your hands and this and that. But this is one thing I don't like. Okay, if you are going to choose to go to a restroom and not clean your hands, you are giving a risk to making people sick. Different diseases, different foodborne illnesses, different bacteria that our body is not used to can very much affect us. And I just don't like it when people don't clean their hands. I'm like, really? I'd hope that they'd at least bring their sanitizer or use some sanitizer if they're not going to clean their hands exactly. But sanitizer only goes for certain things and only goes part way. Usually the more effective way of using, things to clean your hands is soap and water. Soap and hot water, warm water, lukewarm water. Sometimes, even though it's not exactly preferred, sometimes even just a semi-cold but somewhat warm water, but mostly cold water with soap, and actually scrubbing your hands and actually getting every single little crevice and piece of your hands and then rinsing it is very much something that you should definitely do. I just don't like it when I notice people that they're going into the restroom, they don't clean their hands, they go out, and then they might go to the restaurant that we have in the cafeteria or go to a cafe or whatever and order something, and you possibly might not know if their hands are clean, and then you go and get your drink and you're just like, there's a good chance for cross-contamination. Again, foodborne illnesses of cross-contamination and just bad things. Like, this is a way for people to get sick easily, and it's not good. So going over what I just said a moment ago, always look over your own belongings. If there's a chance that you know people that you can actually trust to look at your belongings, then very much do it, okay? But don't always do that, of course, okay? Please, because you never know when that person is going to take, things from you. Of course, the public safety will help you with lost and found if you lose something, or if somebody isn't kind enough to bring it to the lost and found. Usually, then they're a great, awesome person. If that person decides they want to steal it, that's up to them, but that's going to be bad. That's for their taking. So don't expect, if there's nobody watching your stuff, don't expect for your stuff to possibly still be there. Make sure you've got somebody watching it. Always. And if not, bring it with you. Find some way to bring it with you. Or if you had somebody that was watching it but then they left, like maybe a few minutes early, make sure you are there. You are hurrying up as quick as you can to get your food or get whatever you're doing as quick as possible so that you do not get your stuff stolen or taken, or any piece of it taken. Also, respect people's boundaries and respect, their own culture and the way that they act and their values and the way that they are doing things. What I mean by that is because then you can have this understanding of listening to different people and seeing why they do things that they do, whether their parents taught them that way, or whether or not it's just the way that they are. For instance, I can give myself as an example. sometimes I put my stuff on the floor, my belongings on the floor, sometimes, because, to be respectful so that we can have a little bit more room for different people to sit. But then sometimes these people, I've always told them, I even tell the newer people, please don't go over my bags, because in my culture or in certain Asian cultures, it is a bad omen or a bad luck for somebody to go over your stuff or go over your own body unexpectedly. It's not right. It's disrespectful. It's very personally, spiritually, and personally wrong. It's not right. Usually those people will just randomly go over your stuff, and you ask them and you tell them and you tell them respectfully, please don't go over my stuff. Try and go on the side or move on this side or that side. Ask them nicely, and hopefully they will listen and they will understand. Because in a dorm, in a school, in a environment, anywhere that you're sitting, people should be able to respect your belongings and respect how you want things to be. Then what I started doing is putting it in a specific area where it might be on top of maybe one of the small little cushion areas where nobody really sits for the most part, because they kept going over my stuff and they wouldn't respect it. Then some people got annoyed and got annoyed that I put it on top of there, but then I explained my point and explained why and my reasons and my other reasons. I'm not going to explain, of course, over here, but in a general sense, just that, explain my general reasons, because people keep doing that. And then, they just don't respect your stuff. They just take your stuff down from, where you put it, just because, they want to sit there when there's a whole bunch of other places that they could sit, a whole bunch of different places that they could, lounge or relax on. Now, I understand it's not exactly the best thing to do, but sometimes, you're a busy college student, you have different things that you do. Sometimes you should respect that, That's one of the reasons why sometimes I would do that, because it's like, really? You guys just don't want to respect, this and that? Then what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get my work done? How am I supposed to, Anyways, that's a general understanding. I am not going to get into too big of depth of that. But I've had times where certain people, individuals, would get annoyed by that, but yet they don't seem to understand, this and that. Also, sometimes because of jobs and other things that you've probably done, another thing, speaking of stuff like that, is when you're a person that likes to be very much sanitary and, and wants to keep the area that you're in clean and whatnot, is when people decide to sneeze and not cover their mouth like this, or they pick their nose, or they do this or they do that in public, and they don't clean their hands, they don't do anything, they don't put any sanitizer or whatever. That type of stuff is not nice and not fun, especially if you're the one, before you go to your class or before you do this or do that they're going to mess with it, whether it's at a community college or university or whatever, or a dorm. Like, they need to respect your area as much as you'll respect them, so you can respect what they, are asking you and what you are asking them. If I am trying to make myself clear, okay? It's hard for me to explain, but trust me, there will be different people like that will not respect your certain types of cultures or not understand, this and that. Also, in a general sense, do respect your elders if they are much older than you, even though it's mostly Asian type, culture. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but there's other cultures that don't exactly do that as often as, I guess, Asian cultures would do. In my personal opinion, I might be wrong. Sorry if I am wrong, But yeah, for the most part, us Asians, we tend to try and respect our elders and respect, the ones that are older than us. But even though they're older than us, there is some of those that are sometimes very much disrespectful, and you should also see that and tell them that, that's not nice what you're doing. Please don't do that again, this and that. So it comes hand in hand within both fields, respecting each other. Okay? So I talked about, just to review real quickly, I just talked about watching your stuff. I talked about belongings. I talked about my pet peeve and also the restroom type stuff and sanitation. And I talked about just general things about the school, or about most things you'll notice in schools. Now, also, one thing's for sure too, this kind of goes under sanitary, but it's a little bit of a different thing. There was people in my school that after they were done eating, they would leave their stuff there, never throw it away, and expect other people to take it and throw it in the garbage. You are not in elementary school, you're not in middle school, you're not in high school anymore. Pick after yourself. There's no maid, there's no parents, no random people that are going to randomly just, grab after stuff. Maybe one time if you're my friend or if you're somebody that I know well, and I got to know really, really well, maybe I might be okay and be lenient and be like, all right, okay. But after the second or third time or whatever, depending on your opinion and the way you are, you got to stop that. You need to pick up after yourself. If, for instance, actually I'm eating right now, but if, let's say, I'm at a school setting and I'm done with my food, I don't leave it right here. I grab this paper plate, usually. I take all the scraps, I put it on top, and then I put it in the trash. I just don't leave it here and go, all right, I'm just going to take my computer, take everything else, leave. Okay? You just don't do that. Okay? So that's definitely another thing. Okay? All right. So now going to another detail of things is this. Okay? So now that we've gotten into a little bit more into the heart of different things, let's go into another realm of things. This has to do with health and somewhat sanitation, but mostly health. Is that, speaking of sanitation, people not cleaning their hands and, making a mess and, not cleaning after themselves and dirtying up things and not respecting that you want to keep your area cleanly, or not respecting, this and that. Speaking of similar things to that, is that if you do get sick, you get a foodborne illness, or you have a stomach ache, or you don't feel so good, either in a community college, which you will usually be sent home, either you're going to take the bus home, or somebody is going to actually pick you up and bring you home if you get sick. Okay? Or what will end up happening is, at a university, usually university level, they will look at you in a general sense of things. Usually I think they have a better doctor system over there. Usually universities have a better doctor system over there than community colleges, but just in case, this is what they will most likely do in a university, is they will tell you, go to a specialist nearby, or maybe we can help you out with, if you can pay the fines and or money that you owe for the service charge and all that jazz, through insurance or through your own amount of money, or through your FAFSA or whatever. Okay, let's check you. Okay, your eyes are good. You have a sniffle. You have a cough. All right, you know what? Either you take these medications or these, pills, or grab this and that, from the student store or from a store nearby. Or maybe you should give this to your professor or whatever and tell them you won't be there for X amount of days because you don't feel so good. Maybe you'll just sleep at your dorm and just relax and get some rest. I don't know if it exactly fully always happens that way, but if it does, you should be very much thankful because you can still get caught up on your stuff online while you are away. Okay? And that's definitely something that I feel like would be awesome, especially at a university. But nonetheless, either one will either send you home, which is community college usually, or the other one will be they will give you some type of prescription, or they'll give you a notice saying that you won't be coming to class, and they'll recommend you, anything that you need to take, or they'll tell you, just try and see if you can fight it, on your own, and get a lot of sleep. Don't overdo it, and maybe drink some water and sleep. And if it doesn't still feel so great, take this medication, to help you out, or whatever it is. So within that, they will they will either send you to your dorm to just stay there for a certain amount of days, or what they will do is they will they'll do their necessary things to make sure that you're healthy, because your health matters as much as other people's health matters, of course. Going back to that, I just remembered, I just said earlier that you have to respect, the school, and respect this, and respect, some of the rules in some ways to the school, and this and that. Speaking of that, I totally forgot that along with that, if you do, violate one of the rules or disrespect a lot of the rules or whatever, do you know that now that you're an adult, you might get arrested or might go to jail? So be careful, please. Along with that, let's see here. Okay, we did that, we did sanitation, we did the health centers, I explained some of the programs. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop this and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. So another thing that you should also remember is to make sure to, as you're trying to take care of yourself, as you're trying to get your work done, make sure to understand that you need to study well, but at the same time, take some breaks. Part of the college experience is to take a little bit of some breaks. Every now and then, go to a club, go to a social event, talk to friends, make more contacts as you can, enjoy the college experience. Like I've probably said in a lot of my videos, I sometimes overlap on different subjects just to explain that. But yes, enjoy your college experience, because depending if you finish on your bachelor's and you decide not to go to your master's or your PhD, that is the last time you'll be in college. You might as well go straight to your master's or PhD if you can. If not, then that's your last time. So you want to enjoy it. You want to have a good experience in college, so that one day when you get to a certain age and you have your own children at some point in the future, I mean, of course, you can still go at that time even, as long as it doesn't, mess with your own children and children's, activities and their life and whatnot, and doesn't mess with, you and your husband, wife, or whoever you identify with and or love, then that's awesome. You can tell your children saying, back in my time, I did this, I did that. I remember college being this way and that way. Of course, when they get to a specific age, you would explain a little bit of your own college experience if you so feel you need to. But, just that simple type of thing, is an awesome thing to do, and is a way for you to socialize with people, get to know people, learn things about people, understand people's cultures. Now, going to another topic of things, I remember I just talked about majors and things that you're passionate about and things that you want to do. Make sure you have that before you go to college, because it'll be much easier than being undecided. But if you're undecided, take different types of classes, get to know different types of jobs or different types of classes that you're interested in, and see which classes most interest you. If you don't even have like anything that you're interested in exactly, then that's definitely something to do, is dabble within some of the classes, but at the same time finishing your GEs, so that once you choose your major, whether you transfer without your major into a university and have to choose it there, or whether or not you already have your major and you transfer, this is for community college by the way, then you've got all of your stuff there. Same thing if you start in freshman year and they let you dabble around in what you want to do. Okay, then if they let you dabble with what you want to do, then make sure to see what classes are interesting to you and finish your GEs. So by the time you finish that, you can start your major degrees, your minor degrees, your extracurricular degrees, or extracurricular certificates, or whatever you need to get done. With that, you'll also get, different types of benefits and or college scholarships and or things that will help you out if you are willing to do it. That's the reason why clubs are there. That's the reason why different events are there, organizations are there. That's the reason why you should definitely, if you have a chance to, enjoy the time that you have with those organizations, learn how to organize, learn how to be a good person in those organizations. It's good on your resume, and it's something that I feel like if you have a good passion for, go for it. Don't just do it just because, it's an experience. Because it's just, experience and it'll help you with your job. Also do it because you're passionate about it, Don't just do it because, this will help me get, the job I want just for money or this and that. Actually have a good enough personal passion for it, okay? But of course it has to work within your major and all of that jazz. But please, you aren't going to enrich yourself if you aren't going to do that, Which gets me to my next point, which is managing money and FAFSA. For those programs that you get, whether it's through FAFSA or you have a job or you have 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 2 jobs, 1 job, whatever you decide to do, whether it's volunteer, work related, or whatever, just do the jobs that you're passionate about and that you might like, or do jobs that even if you don't like it, at least it's close to the degree that you're kind of getting. At least it'll give you some type of experience anyways, because that will help you get, the next job that you would like. Of course, there's some jobs you might not like, but, if you have a little bit of a passion for, then it's worthwhile, definitely. I feel like there's times that there will be some jobs that you don't like, but as long as it's within the degree that you're getting, and a science degree or a arts degree or a physical education degree in the sciences, or whatever degree it is, and what type of sector it's from, at least you'll have that, that passion and that drive and that crutch for what jobs you would like to do. But the reason being I say, FAFSA, and I talk about these programs, is that it'll also help you with other things, which is one thing I would very much recommend, because they don't teach this in high school very often, or middle school or elementary school at all often, but money management, how to manage your money, how to know how to manage it correctly. So if I'm going to, let's say pay $5,000 for tuition, let's say, okay, and I only saved up maybe $20,000, okay, for a semester, by the way. This is $5,000 for a semester for X amount of classes. Let's say this is 21 units, which it is for some universities. I think their maximum, if I'm mistaken. So yeah, 21 units. 21 units, full-time student, extreme full-time student, along with possibly a job or whatever. Now you've only got $15,000, okay? That $15,000 can go towards your food, towards your dorm expenses, if there's some type of extra expenses other than tuition that usually covers the dorms. If there's any other expenses that you need, whether it's a new computer or you need another, food device, or you need a portable heating pan. It's the one that you plug in and then you turn it on, and it's almost like an actual burner to cook your food in. Anything that you might need, just in case if, let's say, you don't want to go to the prep kitchen in your dorm, outside of your dorm, or just in case if you just want to do something simple that might be easy for you to do, then awesome. If you have enough money, you can also use part of that for maybe a fridge, a small fridge that you can keep some of your fresh foods in supply, so you can cook something that you actually would like to eat. And that would also help you and benefit you, because the better food that you get, the much easier it will be for you to learn, and the much better it'll be for your overall health. Okay? So know how to manage your money. Money management is very, 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 very crucial. Not only in college and university time, but also in real life. Because there will be times when you will need to save up money to get a house, to get an apartment, to get another place to live after you're done with college, just in case if you can't go to the dorms anymore or whatever. Some place where you can live so that you can actually sustain yourself and actually live within this community / society of the country that you live in and the state that you live in, etc. So that's definitely something that you should definitely consider, because the more that you know and the more that you learn and the more you know how to manage your money, the better you will be off in the future. So that you can save up some for your children in the future, so you can save up some for you, so you can do things that you'd like to do, when you retire, so that you have enough money to sustain yourself, so that you can maybe go on a whole bunch of different trips or different things that you want to do. For instance, me, I am thankful for my familia and people that I know. Not people that I know, and other familia that are part of my familia that help me out. And in a lot of ways, I have things that help me and help my family. And sometimes we're able to go on awesome trips, because we find good deals, or find ways to get good deals on tickets, and sometimes we'll go on an awesome trip to maybe London or Canada or Italy or Germany, etc. I've been to different places, but there's a point where I might not be able to do that anymore, and I will need to save up more money to find out if I can find a good flight to even go back there, or go on my own trips. So those are things that you definitely want to do. Seize the day, carpe diem, as some people would say. If you're an artsy person, you might know what that means. Seize the day basically is kind of what it means, in a lot of ways. Or, don't say I'll do it next time, because there might be a chance or a time that next time will never come. So those times that you have a good amount of money and you can actually do it, go for it. Especially if you're still single and you're not in a relationship and, and everything else, go for it. If you're in a relationship, see how you guys can do it on your own. When you guys are still young, I'm not exactly saying, you're going to be old or whatever, like extremely old, but you know what I mean. When you're still young and you still have time to do certain things, before you start a family, before you do other things, before you settle down, before you decide to settle down and maybe get another degree or, all that jazz, so you can experience that time with your significant other. And then at the same time, spend that time with your significant other and your familia and your children and the people that spend that time with them. Enjoy that time with them. Those are things that are very much sacred. And those are times that you will remember for the rest of your life. Especially if you decide to plan something with your friends, going to some country or some place that you've never been to. For instance, I actually am planning maybe to either go to a place that I never went to or a place that I would like to go with some friends of mine that I really, really, enjoy and that have known me for a long time and that might be able to do it with their schedule in the future, not now, but maybe in the future. I'm planning on maybe going to Spain with them or going to another part of Italy that they may have not seen, that I may have not seen. Enjoy it. Almost like a mini road trip, except the difference of the road trip is not on the road. It's an airplane trip to another, country. I'm planning that already in my head, thinking, of what I want to do with that. But I'm also at the same time saying, when I have the chance to, I can do it. It's good to plan ahead, but at the same time, always remember your parts in the present. Always have, a goal and your future of what you want things to be, but at the same time also take some time to be in the present, of the time that you're in. Okay, this nail needs to be fixed and or cut soon. Anyways, sorry. Be in the present day, but at the same time still think about the future and think about things and manage things so that, like I said, you'll have those different types of money and or ways of helping yourself out, and going to different events and different experiences that you will enjoy and that will last forever. Those are always sacred, like I said before. So yes, money management. Definitely know how to manage your money. Definitely know how to, do the things that you love to do. Even if you aren't able to go to a country or do this and that, at least know how to manage your money to at least, have an apartment with the person you are, that you like, or house of the person that you like, that you might someday marry or might someday settle down after you're married, where you can also even just have a good amount of money to, give your guys's refrigerator full of food so that you guys will never be hungry, even just something simple as that. And then maybe if you decide you don't want to watch TV on the actual TV monitors or whatever, you can play Netflix on your computer and get a TV that just, syncs to it adaptively, and you can watch Netflix on there or watch whatever shows on there, So that's definitely something that you should definitely think about, So that's definitely another thing that I'm thinking about and that I'm trying to explain to you guys. Also take care of your health so that you can enjoy these things without any health problems, or if anything, without any major health problems, depending, so that you can enjoy yourself and enjoy the time with the people and friends and family and relatives that you want to enjoy those experiences with, if you know what I mean. So definitely taking care of your health is very key. Eating the right things is very key. And sometimes if you can't eat the right things, exercise is key. So that you can at least, help that out a little bit and then start, eating a little bit better or whatever. Because sometimes in college, sometimes you don't eat the best because you don't have a choice sometimes. And let's see what else. I know I might be missing a few other things, but somehow I can't remember at the top of my head right now. But like I said, those are things to cherish, and those are things that you should definitely think about. And along with that comes the last thing that I can remember now. It just came into my head now. Is that along with that, always compare your deals. Speaking of money management, always compare your deals with the different books that you get. Some books will be at different colleges that will be a specific price. If you can find a better price online, go for it. If you can find a better price actually at school, go for it, no matter what. And remember your code, like I said before in probably a previous video. Remember your code number. For every school, there's a code number with a G, an H, an A, a B, a C, an L, a J, whatever, code they have. J1256812 or whatever. Blah, 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 Or J00000000000. That's of course not exactly true, but if that were a code or your student number, try and remember it. Try and get a ID every single, semester. Please, that is very key. But nonetheless, anyways, yes, so you can find the best price for your books, because you will definitely need that in your classes. Find the best book that you can will help you. Now, going back to another topic that I probably said in one of the videos and finally popped in my head, which is good because then I can add a little bit more to this video. Or should I say videos, because these are two that are going to be combined together and semi-edited but not fully edited. I try and keep it as real as I can. If it doesn't seem good, then I might edit something out and re-record it as I usually would do. Yeah, so before I forget, what was I going to say now? Oh yeah, classes. So you're picking your classes, you're picking different professors. Like I said, there might be good professors that work well with you and some professors that don't work with you, or some professors that are just not good professors for you, or other things. You might not like that professor might not like you. Other reasons that, of course, you can't exactly say. Like I said, you have ways to protect yourself, such as dropping the class with a W or without a W, appealing for your class that you didn't do bad in, that you worked hard in, and giving a good, very critical explanation and point as to why you are asking for an appeal for your grade, etc. Knowing what you have to do, go for it, do it. It is your right. But as I was trying to say, oh my gosh, I totally just lost it for a second. Books, and then oh yeah, classes. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to forget it. Okay, so yeah, you might not have a great professor or this and that. I don't fully trust this site anymore, but I still somewhat trust it. The way I kind of judge it is I take a good amount of good or excellent on that site, and I take a good amount of the bads or worse, and what I do is I divide it between a specific percentage, and if that percentage is mostly good or mostly, bad or whatever, I might not choose that professor. But you know, the place I'm talking about is Rate My Professor. There's Rate My Professor, sometimes Rate My College, and a few other sites that will definitely help you to find out what professors work better with you, or what professors might be a better fit for you. Now, during the semester, if it doesn't work out, find the options that you choose to use and try your best to do the best you can in the classes, because sometimes those appeals don't work. Sometimes the teacher just doesn't work well with you, and you're fine with just dropping it and taking it again in the next semester, maybe with a different professor or whatever it is. Okay. So yeah, Rate My Professor. What I tend to do is do that. I don't always tend to look at the reviews too much for personal reasons, because before you used to be a person where you could be more biased and you could say what you want to say. In some of those sites now, you can't say certain things, you can't say or explain certain things, even though you yourself or the other student or whoever the person is does not like that professor or notices the way that this professor teaches or whatever. Sometimes there's certain things you can't say for reasons that I cannot explain, but they explain it in their site, and they explain, you know, that you can still critique the professor, you just can't do this, you can't do that, which to me isn't exactly right, when sometimes you know that professor was not a great professor and did not fit well with you, and you just want to be the student body that helps out the other students to kind of have a little bit of a wary eye towards that professor and saying, hey, that professor wasn't a great teacher. Maybe it might work with you, but it didn't work with me. Here's my reasons why it didn't work out for me, or here's the reasons why it didn't work out for, this semester or whatever, or here's the reason this and that, Sometimes you can't do that as well, because you can't be as biased as you would like, or you can't be as personal as you would like, so to speak, or critical as you can, so to speak. But still, I would still use those sites in some ways, because in some ways it'll help you find out what professors are good and what professors might not be good, depending on your school and depending on other things. But nonetheless, you will find a good professor that works out with you, and if they are teaching another class that's similar to the class you're taking, then you'll be able to take that professor again and again and again and again, because you love the way that they teach. That's the way I am feeling right now with some of the professors I'm taking, because they understand me, and I understand them, and they help me out, and I understand the repertoire, and I understand what I need to do, and I work so well with them. I just love taking them. But sometimes you do want to take other professors and try them out and see if they work out for you. Sometimes, if that professor if the professor you like is not available, but always find your sources or find your sites that will explain, whether or not this is a good teacher or a bad teacher, depending on their opinions. I mean, it's up to you on how you want to do things, but there's reasons being that I changed, my way from just looking at the way that somebody critiqued a professor versus how many goods or excellence there are aside from the bads. And also to me, it's a good way for professors or people that want to be professors to know, how to maybe fix themselves, or not fix themselves, how to improve themselves, as a professor or as a education/educational teacher and or professor at a college or university. So it's always good to see that, so that you know how to improve yourself. I know that there's sometimes some people that just, lie or make up a random story about a professor and this and that. I understand why professors aren't exactly happy if, if the person says this and that. Now, those people just might not like you at all as a professor, but, for the most part, most of the time, almost all students are just trying to tell you, how they felt in your class or how they just didn't do well in your class. And, just telling people that if you want to take this class, it might be a lot of books. It might be a lot of reading. Be noticeable that you will need the book constantly. Do you know that you'll have like X amount of exams? Do you know that you'll need to have X amounts of testing equipment or testing sheets for your exams or whatever, those type of things, so that you'll be prepared for the professor that you're taking. I usually on Rate My Professor, if they usually have a chili pepper near their name and has a pretty good rating, and usually there's a lot of excellence in there, that usually means it's a pretty good professor, a really awesome professor, if anything. And then, if there's one that doesn't have a hot chili pepper and their rating is low or, this and that, and you got a certain amount of critiques that isn't that good, then maybe you might not want to take that professor. But then again, it's up to you on what professors you want to take and who you want to take. It is not up to me. It's not up to the people of the school or anybody of the school. It's up to you, because even though you don't know these professors and sometimes they don't make meetings with all the professors so you can kind of see how their teaching styles are or whatever, you're kind of lost at what professors to take. Sometimes what you can always do if you still don't know anything about Rate My Professor or this or that, sometimes it's good to take professors that you think might be good, according to different people that you ask, that you made acquaintances with or are semi-good friends with you, or friends that you're kind of friends with, to say, hey, how is this professor? I haven't taken this professor. How is this professor? Is this professor good, bad? Tell me, So definitely having that premise of, is it good? Is it bad? Is it, so-so? Getting their opinion for the first time in college is okay. But then at the same time, sometimes, they'll be busy, so Rate My Professor might be the best thing to do. And it shows that, they'll have their own freedom of speech to tell you, how they feel about the professor, or feel about the way that the professor teaches the course. And it will also prepare you for how to adapt to that professor if you decide to take that professor. All of those things are very key. Anyways, now that I'm fully done, I will see you guys in the next stream or video or whatever. And I hope that you will watch the videos that I tend to put on the right and left side. I noticed that some people have not clicked on them. I would love it if you guys could click on them, because they would help me out and kind of show some of my older videos and some of my newer videos, and also so that you can kind of see what you may have missed from my channel. Such as one that I recently added that was a long time ago in high school when I did the talent show for where I was showing my my thing that I did in my talent show in high school, showing my, I think it was martial arts or things that I that I showed my talent in, I'm not fully sure exactly, but yeah. So, you know, any of the talents that you have, and how you learned it and all the jazz, all that jazz and whatnot, etc. So that's awesome to kind of see, you know, the culture and the things that you've done. So yeah, those are some videos that might be on here. And then of course I will put my subscription box on top of here. And then there's usually a YouTuber that I would recommend at the bottom of here. Okay. So nonetheless, this is U140550 signing out. I hope you enjoy the videos that I give. Alright, bye. Also, I forgot to say, but happy 4th of July, early 4th of July if this posts before morning. And if it's already morning, happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope you enjoy your time. Bye.